Hello everyone and welcome back to an all-new episode of Stefan's Kitchen. I'm your host, Stefan. And yeah, I just want to first say, as you can notice here, I have a brand new avatar here for the videos. I have a new avatar for my channel, as well as a new background. And basically I wanted to have a fresh new start. I wanted to get this thing going a little bit better than what I had going before. I was very inconsistent with the videos and stuff. Now I'm planning to have about one video a week, and hopefully I can keep up with that schedule. It shouldn't be too bad. I do cook more than once a week, so I should be able to take out a video camera and be able to position it. So anyways, the first recipe that I'm going to be, I guess, showcasing right now is going to be one that was I asked some people on Facebook if they had any suggestions, and some people wanted to see some certain things, and somebody in particular wanted to see stuffed mushrooms, so that's what I'm going to be doing. So, let's cook stuffed mushrooms. This is a very good vegetarian option as well as a side, and in this instance I'm going to be using it as a side, but you can add other things to it to make it taste a little bit better, such as adding maybe pancetta or bacon or you know, something like that. I know that some places add crab meat or shrimp. This is a very easy recipe to modify, so by all means go ahead. Also, the recipe is going to be in the description of the video, so if you need to see everything that's going to be included in specific amounts, check there for everything. We're going to be using panko breadcrumbs. I just showed you the Philadelphia cream cheese. We're going to be using cracked black pepper, as well as, well, garlic powder. And one thing that I actually forgot to show you guys was that I used dried red onion as well. Now, this is cayenne pepper. And usually I use fresh garlic instead of garlic powder, but I actually just ran out of the fresh garlic not too long ago. So we're also going to be using the shredded parmesan cheese. And next, of course, we have the mushrooms. Now, these aren't actually stuffing mushrooms. The stuffing mushrooms that they had there are smaller than these white ones, so I just went with the white ones instead, which are exactly the same. Usually just picked for size, whatever. Now, what you're going to do is you want to take all the stems out of the mushrooms, but don't throw them away. What I like to do here is I like to take some of the additional mushroom out from around the side here, so that way you don't have to worry about, you know, trying to have all your stuffing that goes inside falling out or anything. And that's basically what it looks like right there. Lots of room in there for the cream cheese mixture. And yeah, you're going to want to do that obviously to all of your mushrooms. So what we're obviously going to do here now is we're going to skip ahead, because you probably don't want to see me doing all these mushrooms at once, because that would be a little bit boring. And yeah, so let's skip ahead here, and what we're going to do next is we're going to take all the stems from the mushrooms and we're going to chop them up really fine. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to split all the round edges so that way they're not rolling everywhere and you don't have to worry about cutting your fingers as much. And once we have all that done, we're going to just you know, chop them up real coarsely. Don't have to worry about chopping them real fine right away. Just make sure you get them, like I said, so they're not rolling around so much. And eventually, once you get them chopped down so much, they will, like I said, be fine chopped. So nothing too extravagant there. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to heat up a pan on the stove. You're going to want about a medium to high heat, and we're going to pour in about a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. Now, regular olive oil or virgin olive oil is even fine as well, so that's not very, you know, don't have to worry about anything like that. Once it actually heats up enough for you to start cooking, what we're going to do next is you're going to take all those finely chopped mushroom stems and you're going to put them into the pan, and we're going to cook them off. And the reason we do this is that it looks like it's a lot of mushroom to deal with, and like possibly it's almost too much, but don't worry about that, because these will shrink down a lot in size. I mean, it looks like there's a lot in the pan now, but by the end there will be a lot less. Now, another thing is, if you really want to, you can add some salt, but usually the Parmesan cheese that goes in with the mixture provides enough seasoning for it that you won't really need to add salt. But I mean, once it's cooked and you take your first bite, I mean, if it's not salty enough for you, just add a little sprinkle. It shouldn't be, you know, too bad. So the first thing I did there was I seasoned with some garlic powder, and next I'm going to season with a little bit of black pepper as well. And when I say season, just add a small sprinkling, you know, just over the top of all of it or whatever, and you know, you don't have to go overboard. That doesn't mean you have to add just a little amount. Now I like a little bit of extra pepper, so that's why I put in a little bit more probably than what most people would. So next what we're going to do is you're going to take your spoon and you're going to start mixing all this around because again, you don't want it to burn on, but you do want it to cook nicely. And as you can see there in the bottom of the pan, a lot of moisture comes out of these mushrooms, and that's why they shrink down a lot. I mean, if you take a look here, all those mushrooms, that's what it's, you know, been cooked down to. It's really probably about half, if not, you know, a little less than that. So what you're going to do next is take the mushroom mixture off of the heat and let it cool down. Once it's cooled down, that's when you're going to start making your cream cheese mixture. So at this time, you want to make sure that you have your cream cheese out of the fridge for sure, and you know, let it soften up a bit. You know, the softer it is, the easier it is to mix up. That's usually a given with when working with cream cheese, anyways. So usually for any recipes that you're going to be wanting to use cream cheese, take it out about an hour before you're about to go and do your recipes. So as you can see here, I'm having a little bit of trouble with this because the cream cheese loves to stick to the package. See, I almost gotta, and yeah, oh god, this is horrible. Okay, there we go. And that's the cream cheese out. So next we're going to take the mushrooms and we're going to add them directly to the cream cheese. If they're a little warm, it doesn't matter. Again, that'll just help the cream cheese melt down a little bit so it's not so stiff when going to mix. And the reason I'm using the fork is I'm going to be using the fork to mash everything together for the mixture itself. So first I'll just stick my fork in there. And again, a little bit of black pepper because, well, cream cheese is very plain. And we're going to want a little bit of pepper to that. And the next thing we're going to add is, like I was saying earlier, these are dehydrated red onion or freeze-dried red onion. And just a small sprinkle of them, but a teaspoon maybe. Next, season with a bit of cayenne pepper. Now the thing is with cayenne pepper, it is a spicy seasoning, but you can use it as a seasoning or you can use it as a spice. So just, you know, a small amount is fine. And now next you're going to want to add in your parmesan cheese. Now for me, I'm going to add in about a quarter cup, maybe a little bit more than a quarter cup. Here we go, look at that. Loves me some parmesan cheese. So once you get all that in, again, you don't have to worry about salt or anything like that. And if you decided to add anything like bacon or pancetta or crab meat or shrimp, this is about the time you want to add it in. Maybe for something a little bit more delicate as shrimp, you might want to probably put it in after it's been mixed up thoroughly, when the cream cheese is much softer. Because in that way you can keep the shrimp a little bit more whole rather than mashing it up into the cream cheese. Now if that's the way you want it, and you just want all the cream cheese to have the nice shrimp flavor, then just go ahead, throw them in right away and just mash them up. Crab meat usually is stringy anyway, so it usually does stand fairly firm to the mashing regardless. So that's something you probably won't have to worry about. Same thing with bacon and pancetta. Pancetta especially because it's kind of a thin, stringy kind of bacon regardless, so it's not going to matter too much anyways. So again, you just want to make sure you get everything nice and thoroughly mixed with cream cheese. Remember to scrape the bottom of your bowl because a lot of it will stick to the bottom and not get mixed, and you don't want to get left over with just, you know, a clump of cream cheese at the bottom and trying to stuff mushrooms with that extra clump. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add butter to the same pan that we used before to cook the mushrooms, and use about a tablespoon of butter. Once it's all been melted down, this is about the time you're going to want to add that cup of panko breadcrumbs directly to the pan. Now you want to have this around medium heat on the top of your stove, and you're going to want to keep making sure that you stir this around often because you don't want it to burn on, obviously, and you know, burnt breadcrumbs is, well, it's going to just smell like toast in your house, which I guess is not a bad thing, but it's not going to be a good thing for your stuffed mushrooms. So once the breadcrumbs have started to brown a little bit, you're going to want to keep stirring them around often and make sure, like I said, again, they don't stick onto the bottom, and yeah, they'll take on that nice buttery flavor and they'll go really nice on top of our stuffed mushrooms. So the next thing we're going to do right now is we're going to start stuffing the mushrooms with the cream cheese mixture. Now at some places they prefer to take the skins off the outside of the mushrooms. I prefer to keep them on because they give the mushrooms that firmness that they need. They don't really break apart or anything. and it almost kind of gives them like a snap, like it's almost like when you're biting into a sausage or something. And another thing is you're going to want to make sure you put these on parchment paper in a pan and grease the parchment paper. You can either use the non-stick cooking spray, or you can also use just, you know, some cooking oil with a paper towel, and just, like I said, just grease up the parchment paper enough so that they won't stick on. Now, once they're done, you're going to want to add in all of your, or you're going to want to add on the breadcrumbs, which we had cooked earlier. Now, the reason that we don't brown these too much in the pan is for the fact that once they go in the oven itself is going to be heating up the breadcrumbs and cooking them and obviously browning them a little bit. So, you more or less what you're trying to do is get the last of that mushroom flavor into your breadcrumbs. Another thing is that it will add a little bit of the butter flavor to the mushrooms, which is always a nice, it's always something that goes really well with mushrooms anyways. And once you get all the breadcrumbs on there, just take your hand and kind of like push them down so that they don't fall off the mushrooms while they're going into the oven to cook. So next we're going to take the mushrooms, of course, and we're going to put them directly into the oven. And you're going to probably want to leave them in there for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. It all depends on how hot your oven is, what kind of oven you have, convection or not. And usually the rule is that it depends on if water starts coming out of them, that's when you know they're starting to get done. And we're putting our oven here on 375. And once they're done, as you can see here, the breadcrumbs on top will be browned really nice. If you look down at the bottom there, you can see a little bit of I guess the mushroom juice that came out. And like I said, once that comes out, you know that your mushrooms are going to be done and cooked. So, and there you have it. That's pretty much all you have to do. So just, I guess, let them cool down just a little bit, enough so that you can transport them or put them onto a plate or whatever. And you don't have to worry, they won't actually break up or anything right away. They are pretty sturdy, especially, like I said, if you keep the skins on the outsides. And, well, I made these to go with a meal, so I guess I will just cut to showing you guys the completed meal. Which is, there you go. We have some Asian roasted barbecue wings, and we have the stuffed mushrooms and some wild rice. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to subscribe and like and share. And again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you soon in a new episode. Take care, everybody.